Green Spaces is an environmental nonprofit, primarily focused on the built environment. We really exist to further regional sustainability, and we do that through our programs, education, and advocacy. There was no one really talking about green building, no one practicing green building, and so as we noticed that, we felt there was really a need for a resource center, an educational facility for better building practices. And so Green Spaces really came out of that. It really came out of a lack of education, a lack of knowledge in the city, and we wanted to provide that for Chattanooga. When we originally decided to build a Green Spaces Resource Center, we really wanted it to be a model of everything you could do in regards to green building. We really wanted as much natural light as possible, and so we opened up the entire storefront. We put an overhang out front so that it blocks a lot of the direct sunlight. We didn't have to use high efficiency windows on the lower windows because a lot of that sunlight was being blocked. Most of the times we don't even have to turn on the lights in the space because we have so much natural daylight. We were actually down the street at Architectural Services getting our cabinets made for the kitchen and saw all of these scrap pieces, basically end pieces of sheets of wood that they get in. This is probably a day's worth of scrap material. What we realized was that incentivizing better building practices was the best way to get started, the best way to bring attention to these new ideas and new technologies. We were very lucky to work with the Lyndhurst Foundation in the beginning. The money they gave us, we were able to kind of turn around and give a lot of that away in our incentive program. We've worked with about 30 projects. Blue Cross Blue Shield, 2 North Shore, Outdoor Chattanooga, Crash Pad, Northwest Georgia Bank, 2 fire stations with the city. I think we started working with Austin in 2009 and have really just created a great relationship with Austin.
When we first started looking at the construction of our new administration building, we met with the Green Spaces team and we talked about what it would take to get our building LEED certified. And of course there were many different components to that LEED certification, but as you can see here, we do have a solar project. It's a 56 kilowatt system. It roughly provides electricity for the equivalent of 6 to 7 homes, or it offsets the consumption of 120 barrels of oil. All of the solar panels were manufactured in the state of Tennessee, and then all the construction on this project was completed by local companies. The Green Spaces organization committed to providing a level of funding based upon the level of our certification. Without the funding that was initially provided by Green Spaces, this project simply would not have happened.
Green Spaces is a great resource for both developers and contractors in Chattanooga. On this Riverfront Professionals project, the daylighting was important to the occupants of the building, so it was designed to allow a lot of daylight in. If you go into one of the dental offices, you'll see that each chair is surrounded by windows, and that's not a real common thing that you see in a dental facility. This building utilized a special type of solar band glass. It was made as glass, and when it comes back out of the building, it can be used as glass again. It doesn't necessarily have to go to the landfill. The construction of this building is primarily concrete, a regional material. Another thing you'll notice about this building is there are minimal finishes. The floors are simply just stained concrete. When you're building to green standards, whether it just be a better built environment or a LEED environment, or just you want to make your building green in general, Green Spaces has been a great resource for us.
We became a nonprofit about 1.5 years ago and have expanded our programs. The incentive program isn't needed like it was in the past, and so we've developed some new programs for residential construction.
One of the things that we wanted to create here at Green Spaces was a program for people that are looking to build a new home. So we developed Better Built, and it's a high-performance housing standard for new construction right now. The simplest way to explain it would be that it's almost like a MPG for a car. We use the HERS index for that. Hers is the home energy rating system, and it's a scale from 0 to 500, and with the lower being better. And for better built homes, we require 75 or less, which means at minimum, a better built home is going to perform 25% better than the standard home.
I work closely with builders to ensure that their projects are going smoothly and that they, as they're tracking Better Built certification, that they're meeting everything along the way. We also, in the end, do a final inspection on the house. The main thing is what's called a blower door test, and a blower door test is going to test exactly how tight your house is. So this fan is calibrated to tell us exactly how much air it's pulling out of the house. We can then turn that into a number that is quantifiable, that you can compare to other homes. You know, your father says, you know, you're leaving the barn door open, you know, you're just letting air go right outside that you paid money to condition. So it's a huge energy waste.
We've worked with a lot of new construction, commercial buildings and residential buildings, and we are primarily focused on the built environment, but we really believe that to instill lasting and long-term change in Chattanooga, we really need to change behaviors, the way we live, the way we work, and this only happens through education and advocacy. And so the real and lasting change won't necessarily be in just our buildings, but it'll really be in the way we behave in them.